So it's Wednesday. Time is 1:37 p.m. And as I woke up this morning, I did a quick analysis of London, Asia, New York, what I kind of expect this New York to happen. And as seen, taking all the lipstick off, we see price set a higher high on Tuesday PM session at around 1 p.m. And ever since then moved lower through Asia, through London, and I was expecting, frankly, New York to take some sort of liquidity from either London or both London and Asia and move higher, judging by the daily candle too, with Tuesday closing bullish and with Wednesday opening lower, possibly setting stage 1 of power 3 and moving higher, finding support in this breaker block over here, or maybe the new week opening gap support. So I was expecting, frankly, higher prices during AM, and these higher prices weren't actually given, but might coming during the PM session. So again, we have the gap, so putting back the lipstick on. We have a new day opening gap form. Price respects it during Asia, rejects from its midpoint, moves slower. Again, moves slower. During 1 a.m., price goes again to it, rejects, moves slower. And during London Open, we have... I'll do another video focusing on London alone, so just let's delete these for now to ignore them and ignore these gaps as well. London reacts from opening range at 2 a.m. is this candle, midnight opening range midpoint, moves lower. Price again at 7 a.m. comes again back to the range, moves lower at 8. And where does it come to? It comes to new day opening gap, previous new day opening gap, upper quadrant, and filling the new week opening gap fully. This right here. 1 hour fair value gap turned inversion fair value gap, where it does offer support initially, then it moves below it. Rebalancing this gap, and it moves inside the New York opening range from the previous day. So we are inside this range, and inside of this range, I want to consider the fair value gap of this range in the 15-minute. It is this one right here. And in the 5-minute, it is this one right here. And price is hovering and consolidating in that range. So I also want to expect some sort of support. There are a lot of confluences here. Judging in the 1 hour, judging by, or the 15-minute, by this range, we are deep beyond golden ratio or optimal trade entry, which can still offer support. So coming into the charts at 8, let's say AM, we have price moving lower. We're higher time frame bullish. We're not looking for shorts, we're looking for longs. Or we can look for shorts, but I'm predominantly trying to condition my brain or my subconscious to have a directional bias, higher time frame for the day, and focus in that to get fluent with the directional bias until I get very professional at it. I can focus against the trend short-term scalping. But for now, we're focusing on longs. So all this time, I just sit and do nothing. Zero, nothing. Nothing. In the 1 minute, what do I see? I see hitting higher time frame PD array. So right here, we're in the gaps in the new day opening gap, new week opening gap, 1 hour inversion fair value gap. But I'm gonna leave it as a gap right now just to illustrate the idea of how previous gaps can still react or make price react. So we have low, high, lower low, higher high, change of the state of delivery. This lower here reacts, so the gap moves higher. There's no retracement right here before taking this high. It just moves higher. Retracement is only in this 1 minute inversion fair value gap. But no retracement into the bullish order block. So probably I wouldn't be taking this trade. The retracement in this gap right here. It's too high risk to reward. I mean, it's not that high. It's only at 122, but it's fairly risky. It's just before the opening. I would rather wait and see how the opening develops. So at this moment right here, I was pretty bullish. I was expecting the opening to move higher and retrace into a gap forming here and going for a long for midnight opening range or liquidity from London. What it actually does, it opens at 9:30, moves lower with force, takes sell side, and basically just disrespects this whole movement or idea here. It forms this range until 10 a.m. After, 10 a.m. is right here in this candle. So in this candle right here, it already moved beyond this point, changing the state of delivery after taking sell side. So we have a possible long in this area right here, and I did film myself taking a long in this. So from the 5 minute, I want to come down and see what clues price left during from 9:30 to 10 a.m. What gaps? So we have a 1 minute inversion fair value gap here, and we have a 3 minute fair value gap right here. So as price comes beyond the 1 minute before 10 a.m., I just saw this fair value gap, which at this point is still a fair value gap. I saw it get disrespected, move beyond it, and retraces lower. So this makes me bullish right now. Now that I'm bullish, I want to see this fair value gap get respected over here. This 1 minute fair value gap get respected. I want to see this get disrespected, this get disrespected, and of course higher prices. And entries can be done right here, midpoint of this gap, maybe a bit higher as this gap right here 1 minute starts, with stop loss below the midpoint of this 1 minute inversion, because I don't want to see price move below that point. I'm bullish. Price already took sell side, change the state of delivery. I want to see price come to a discount of this range, but not so deep into discount. It can happen. You can still, but since we have a tight range, I want to keep it tight. You can put it here, but I would personally keep it tight. And I was aiming for this. Initially, I was aiming for this high, for this liquidity, being the low-hanging fruit. But as I saw price move with force, I got tricked into believing price might go higher. So I initially put the price up here. Then I put the price up here of price of taking profit. which is a high of London, takes some liquidity from London over here, and goes again testing this midnight opening range. So the idea initially was pretty good. I was just not that great at executing the trade, or managing, better said. I executed very well, I just didn't manage well, and price ended up reversing and taking me out at this point right here. And where I was not in the charts because I went out to meet with Tony Montana, but if I had been in the charts, I would be closing at this point right here. As soon as this candle low gets disrespected, I would be closing right here, because this shows me a new model now. We took liquidity, we changed the state of delivery, retraced, and move lower, swing high, swing failure high. So now we're gonna go aim for the sell side, with the day or the AM session at least being a seek and destroy session. But regarding the execution again, we do have executed very well. One long can be traded here as we took it, as will be shown in the execution video. Another long can be taken in this gap right here, forming. We respected everything here, so we assume this to be respected as well. Maybe this would offer a better RR. I don't know, again. It depends on what we would be trading or what we would be aiming for. In the 15-minute, we have this fair value gap. Maybe this would be a better aim. In the 5-minute, we do have the same fair value gap in the 5-minute as well. We have this liquidity getting taken, this liquidity getting taken, and the midpoint of this gap now being touched. And having this midpoint not being touched, having this change of the state of delivery here, this would definitely constitute in a close of this long trade with slight profit, maybe break even, maybe just covering the interests, which would still be a successful day, would still be a lesson. Was a lesson. I was away from the charts. I should have been in the charts. I was paper trading though. I didn't value it as I should, maybe. Nonetheless, I still learned the lesson. It's still an experience. It's still a good execution I made here. I identified the situation very well. I executed very well. I had a good picture of the overall build-up of price. I had a good directional bias. But price will do what it will do, you know. It will still go around and do its thing that we cannot really always predict. We always need to have the probability mindset on, as it should, as it did right here. It's just it didn't go for our target, and that's what it can do sometimes. It will consolidate maybe all day. Maybe it will consolidate until the PM session where it really goes higher. And then we want to see price leave clues as well, and maybe it will go there. But it can still consolidate and go lower, you know. It can do a lot of things, like this day right here, for example, where we have a very bullish day over here. We have a change in the state of delivery. We expect price to just come down and shoot up higher and continue it, but what it does, in fact, it just closes lower. The next day it does move higher, with the coming days moving even higher, but it simply can't close lower. So this can be one of those days as well, and it shouldn't discourage us. It shouldn't make us seek lower prices. I'm sorry. It shouldn't, make us feel like we're doing a bad analysis. It's just how price moves. We are respecting it. We're not forcing our will. We're not deeming our analysis perfect and forcing those levels that we anticipate price to go to. We're simply observing. We're simply observing, having a probability mindset, considering all factors and reacting on the observation to what we constitute as higher probability. So as price comes lower again, we have this fair value gap being respected, change of the state of delivery, move lower, price comes again to this breaker, moves lower, takes sell side here, comes high again to this fair value gap, reacts to it, lower, creates engineered sell side, moves higher into this inversion fair value gap over here, or this small one right here, into this fair value gap. Very strong price, very strong level when fair value gap with a, when inversion fair value gap with a fair value gap together, strong resistance, moves lower, breaks structure, immediate rebalance over here. This comes back again, fills this gap to the first quadrant, moves lower, taking sell side, comes again, hits the gap again, consolidates, and all of this is still 11 a.m. This is a bit before 11. So we can take off a silver bullet in this section right here. We have 10 a.m. forming here and 11 a.m. being here. So in this section right here, we can see a silver bullet here, here in this gap, and we see price bam. Possibly here as well, we would just need to have set the stop loss higher, aiming for the AM sessions sell side. And we see price move strongly with force and come back taking sell side and come back strongly with force again. And we see reaction from this fair value gap, which is bearish fair value gap, moves lower, takes sell side, fills this gap fully, moves higher, changes state of delivery here. In the 15-second, definitely there's a gap there too. Or the 30-second, change the state, gap. I want to see price move higher. If it moves higher, entry. Does move higher. Do what? Long here, bam. Stop loss below the previous swing low. What are we aiming for? We're aiming for this buy side, this fair value gap, and this inversion fair value gap. It's a good 1 to 2. Yeah. We see price moving higher. We see a classic pattern here of change of the state of delivery and market structure shift. It's 2 p.m. session, 12 p.m. sorry. We see price just going almost to that level. It goes to this fair value gap, but it doesn't go to the inversion fair value gap. It reacts to it, rejects lower, reprices again to this bullish 1 minute order block, moves higher, disrespects the fair value gap. Rejection block comes back to this fair value gap. Now that was disrespected, it becomes inversion. We expect it to find support. If it doesn't find support, stop loss just below it, covering the costs. And price take profit and possibly continues higher. We have a 1 minute inversion fair value gap from the opening New York range, which can find resistance. And we have an inversion fair value gap fill. We have fair value gap fill, so we can expect resistance here and possibly a change of the market structure or market structure shift. Price reacts initially, moves higher into this in 1 minute inversion, moves higher from it, so we can possibly expect higher prices or consolidation in range. We have very nice price action here. We have rebalance of this order block, rebalance of this inversion fair value gap, rebalance of this order block here, move higher. We haven't rebalanced this. We have a fair value gap. We might rebalance here again, reacting from this inversion. We in fact do. We take sell side here and move higher, change the state of delivery. Choppy price action, inversion fair value gap, 1 minute, support, moves higher, disrespects the gap, or well, let's say it respects it first, then disrespects it. So we have inversion here, respect. We have inversion here. After it disrespected, we want to expect respect here. Does it disrespects it. So what are we now? Bearish. We see change of state of delivery, entry in this 1 minute fair value gap. Over here. Wait. Sell. Well, sell should have been here, but whatever. Stop loss above this candle's high or candle's open. We can put it above, but it's a small difference, so better be sure. Target. This one took sell sides. You want to expect either this gap to be filled or sell side over here. 1 to 2 again. We're bearish. Time of the day is 1:17. We see price coming down to this old fair value gap again, seeing price midpoint respected. We move stop loss to high of this. Well, maybe no. I would like to leave the stop loss there. But I definitely want to see this price not hold. So maybe I would simply move it here. Because this fair value gap got respected first, then disrespected. Change the state of delivery. So this can be a bullish. Took us out, filled the gap, took out this high. So the aim was basically only this sell side. It wasn't lower. So we would have consecuted a loss there if we had taken the entry. But we took a short while higher time frame bias, directional bias was bullish. So maybe even though we saw a short opportunity at the smaller time frame, how was the view in the 15 minute or the 5 minute? It was pretty bullish, honestly, because we changed market structure shift here, moved higher. So this can be simply retracing back to the same level as it did here to this breaker, moved higher. So in the lower time frame, it seemed very bearish and a good opportunity to short, but the higher time frame narrative says the otherwise. So it would have been a very bad short. Price moves and moves until it drives lower. And this is where it is right now. It has moved to our target, which was filling this gap and this sell side, and it's reacting to it right now. So basically, that short might have worked if we had put the stop loss this, even to this high, it would probably kick us out. This high being 104,595.5. This one being 104,591 point. So it would have probably kicked us out. It would just be to the tick and move lower. So just a lesson, price, even though it did react from this gap, it can still return to it before reaching higher time frame target. So maybe a better entry would be like this, 1 to 3.8. Pretty darn good. Or we have change of the state of delivery. Price moves higher. Now here, so all this time we're not doing anything. We're expecting price to move higher and change the state of delivery in the smaller time frame in this range right here. And does it do so? Yes, it does. Move higher, lower, change of state of delivery, comes back to fair value gap formed here, moves lower. Very nice silver bullet. So this could be an opportunity short, but again, it's against the higher time frame directional bias. So I would personally choose not to take it unless I'm being very aggressive and I have made substantial gains, and I'm willing to risk some things for the hype and for the drive for the emotions that it gives. So right now I'm waiting for the PM session, silver bullet, which is between 2 and 3 p.m. Right now time is 2:03, and I am waiting for clues. Price has moved to this order block right here, filling this gap fully, and is reacting to it after taking again this low sell side. In the 1 minute, I don't see any pad or any price action being formed. I see all these fair value gaps being disrespected, bearish fair value gaps, which shows signs of bullishness. Right now price is in a 13-second inversion, or the 1 minute, if I want to take the 1 minute inversion. It's rejecting from it, perfectly normal. And now I would want to see support in this 1 minute fair value gap or in this 1 minute fair value gap. We have a 15-second order block here. Now I'm just gonna wait and see, honestly. We're ejecting from it. I don't want to see 5 minute close. Very bearish. We have a lot of built buy side over here, over here, over here, which will be definitely targeted in the near term. So we have 1 minute closing very bearish. It hasn't tapped into the 1 minute yeah, it has. Yeah, to the dot. Fucking. So in the 15-second order block, fair value gap, expect some support. Last 30-second fair value gap. Price is reacting to this fair value gap. I want to see it get disrespected higher. It's respecting it lower, but I can leave, or I can permit price to move lower into this order block, but not lower than here. So if it goes below here, I would probably abandon my bullishness. Alright, price is staying in that range, consolidating for now. We're just patient. Price did disrespect the 15-second fair value gap, left an imbalance, which will fill it. I want this respected. Instant. This is algorithmic movement. This is science. Bullish 15-second order block being formed. I want to see support in this area. It will hold it. price drops to it, finds support, change the state of delivery, goes for 15-second order block, sorry, fair value gap, goes for this breaker block, does it disrespected, it fucking fills it all. I'm sorry for the language. So what we can do is wait, we have a gap here, wait for fill and buy it here. Bam. Stop loss below this order block slow, and take profit can be done above these highs. Or above the 1 p.m. This is 1:55. So I would probably, I would aim for this 1 p.m. high. $1,000 being risk 11, so it's a 1 to 10 almost. So we have price coming back to this order block. And why is this a big or strong order block? We have a low, high, lower low, high with the bodies. We have a lower low and high. So this is a breaker and an order block. Very strong level, imbalance, support, strong reaction from it, strong reaction again. We have one inversion fair value gap being formed on the 15-second, imbalance left open. I preferably want to see this imbalance be opened or get left opened, because I want to see signs of bullishness, and it being left opened is a sign of bullishness. I want to see this 15-second inversion find support. We're in this 15-second fair value gap, respecting it first, with this breaker block being respected. Reaction from it, all permissible. Could possibly come down over here, probably not, but I want this fair value gap being disrespected to the upside now. So we're in the 15 second. We want to move up to the 1 minute. We are observing consecutive 1 minute bullish candles after strong move down to fill this gap, fill this fair value gap, not even to 50%, strong bullish sign. So we can possibly see price find resistance here, and if it does, it will not go to our target. It will probably come down, take again this low, and be again supporting this level. So I want to move my stop loss higher to this low. I don't want to see price, it already came twice in this level, so I don't want to see it come again after moving higher and changing structure. So I want to see consecutive higher prices. It's the silver bullet. It's 14:11 right now, time of the day, very important, very algorithmic, and this model could possibly not work if it was a different time. It still possibly won't work, but so there's always a probability mindset. Nothing is given. So we have this fair value gap first get respected here, then here. Now it's getting disrespected higher. I want to see the midpoint of this get disrespected. It's roughly in this level, and it is being disrespected. This high, I want to see it get taken with force. I don't want to see lagging in this level. I want to see strong movement higher through this inversion, 1 minute inversion fair value gap. Through these highs, I want to see this fair value gap find some resistance initially after it fills it fully here, and then it can possibly, so I want to see price move like this, fill the gap, possibly find some sort of support either here in this order block or here in this order block, and then move higher into this. Let's see how it unfolds. We have price retracing naturally. I'm still very confident because it passed the midpoint of this order block. I can permit it to come here, filling this gap as it is, and maybe again into this 1 minute inversion. And I'm going to go ahead and place the stop loss below this inversion. And I want to see this as a breakaway gap, this inefficiency here. Price find support in this 15-second fair value gap. Moves higher, change the state of delivery, done. I want to see force again here through this inversion. I don't want to see lagging. If it does, I want to place the stop loss. Oh, it's here, below this low. Because price changes state of delivery already. And this would cover my costs. And probably a bit of profit too. So this is a 15-minute. It's a 1 minute inversion. In the 1 minute, I want to see strong force higher. Price can reprice to this order block before moving higher, causing an immediate rebalance and strong move higher. Let's see what it does. It can also leave this gap probably. Let's see. But by any means, I don't want to see it move lower. There is 1 minute gap here, but I don't want to see it move below this low. So there is natural reaction to the 1 minute inversion fair value gap. Although I preferred strong movement up. I don't want to see it come below the midpoint of this 1 minute order block. There's a 30-second gap, a 30-second inversion, very strong levels of support. We see we have price coming higher, reacting again from the inversion. Now at this moment right here, the strong rejection, that is algorithmic. So if price took buy side and comes down and closes lower, I want to see this as a change of state of delivery and instantly close the trade. What it does, in fact, it moves higher as anticipated with strong force through this inversion fair value gap, respecting its high to the dot. It's all permissible. I would simply just prefer price to fucking close higher. And as said before, immediate rebalance to this, move higher. It's consolidating in this range. Now I want to see if it goes for a midpoint of this order block. It doesn't, still very bullish. I like that, I like that. Price moves through it. It disrespects this inversion. So this is not a resistance zone anymore. Price goes for this fair value gap as told before. Goes through it with force. Now at this moment right here, I have an inversion 1 minute fair value gap, and I can expect or allow some retracement from it, some rejection. And where do I want it to come to? Possibly here, here, or down here. All right, now this turns inversion. This inversion got disrespected instantly with small reaction, then movement higher. Now we have a new inversion to which I want to see price finding support. We have this candle's open being broken, rejection block respected for now, but ultimately I want to see price come up high here. $8,000 in profit, aiming for 11. This is low hanging fruit. This could possibly be the main target as the AM buy side. That would be a $21,000, but I'm very happy with 11 too, or whatever number of the buy side. It's 12. Yeah. So we're aiming right now. We're going for this buy side. Natural in the 1 minute. It is a rejection block. Price right now went above the midpoint of that rejection block. It went for the upper quadrant with bodies respecting it. Very bullish. Rejection block being disrespected. Gap forming here. Possible another gap forming here. And we are being patient right now. Natural retracement. We don't get fearful. We don't get angry. We don't get FOMO. Oh, it's so close. It's not going to touch. It's going to reverse. Relax. Shut the fuck up. Relax. Okay. Even if it does, we're still in profit. We cover costs. We get some profit. Eat the pizza tonight. Margarita. That's it. So why did I place a stop loss here? Maybe a bit below. Because it still covers support in this order block. Price already found support in this order block through this candle. This rebalanced this inversion here. This then got rebalanced from this order block. This order block got rebalanced through this block, which we also rebalanced this. So all of this is a rebalanced price range. Price finds support in this fair value gap here, causing immediate rebalance. Moving higher, change the state of delivery. This level I can allow to come down to again. If you're aggressive, you can place stop loss down here. If you want to allow price to move and allow the nature of the day, which is choppy, it's up and down, to express itself, you can still leave the stop loss here with profit and leave it more room. Change the state of delivery. Price comes down to this order block, reacts from it, more visible in the 15-second low, high, support, move higher. So at this moment, we have taken this sell with this buy side here. We are in this inversion 15-second and this 15-second fair value gap. Natural resistance. If we come down below this low in the 1 minute closing, we can possibly consider closing the trade or allowing it to consolidate in this range over here for natural retracement, rebalancing these order blocks and gaps before moving higher to our target. Or it can simply just keep moving higher, Again, very tempted to move the take profit higher. Oh, I could make 20k instead of 12k, but you can also fucking get reversed down to nothing and possibly a loss. So be content. I'm grateful. I just got 20k in my account. Fuck, 12k, not 20k. We can leave maybe one contract open, but I prefer to take profit as it is. You can leave one open for this open of the candle or this rejection block, maybe one contract or two contracts or 5 contracts, whatever you deem whatever is worthy of leaving for your money management. It's a very successful trade, very well executed, extremely well managed, very well observed, reaction to all levels, expectations, expectations of how levels should react. What would I do if price does this or that? So always expecting higher prices, but also assuming lower prices and conditions to which I would react. So if price moves to this level, what would I do? Or if price moves below this expected level, would I close a trade? Would I freeze? What are the conditions? So setting a protocol in place that allows me to act with logic and not emotion. And these protocols are simple. If this gets respected, if price moves again a third time below this low, I close the trade. It's not supporting high prices. I want to see this movement, not chopping and moving lower and a bit higher and a bit lower. I want to see higher movement. And they are, as discussed through the video, we set clear, like this stop loss below here, we set clear levels and clear rules and protocol in place that helps us close the trade or open or maintain the trade open, that are logical, that make sense, that are respected as rules. They're not questioned. You don't question them simply because you're minus $100, minus $800. And if we go back to the video, we see that we started the trade with minus. It went against us, and then it went in our favor. So we respect the rules. We don't focus too much on the emotional aspect, what ifs and whatnot, you know. Yeah, very well traded. If we were to have one contract open right now, aiming for this high, we would be a bit in. In doubt. Should we keep the trade? Should we close the trade? In the 15-minute, we do have price action supporting higher price. We have low, high, lower, low, high, high here. Changing state of delivery. Support in this bullish order block. Move higher. Change the state of delivery here. And we do have one order block here. So we can expect price to come and reprice here. We can expect price to move to this order block and reprice here, as it does actually, to the dot. Surgical. This is electronical, algorithmic to the dot. It's also this level right here in the 1 minute. It's an order block. So we still have bullish price action. We don't have a change of state of delivery yet until this low gets taken and this fair value gap gets disrespected, turning into an inversion. So I want to see this fair value gap, even though it offered support here and it got filled, I can expect support still in the future as it's happening right now. Support here, support here. And I can permit its midpoint. I can permit maybe a bit lower. And I can permit this this inversion to allow support with this 1 minute candle, hopefully not closing thick and bearish, but instantly going higher and creating a wick, or this one going higher and changing the state of delivery above here. Let's see what it does. Well, it's going strong, but I want to see this open of this candle over here, up here, get disrespected, and this fair value gap get disrespected. It's 14:27, 30 minutes to 3 p.m. I'm sure we have some gaps created. Yeah, we have a 5-minute gap right here to which price is reacting. We have another 5-minute here. So any gap that is formed between 2 and 3 p.m. I want to consider. I want to consider this gap right here. I want to consider this gap right here. Of course, these inversions too, as to which price will react. But I want to see how price reacts to these gaps, or all gaps that are formed between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. So in the 15-minute, we don't have any formed yet. But in the 5-minute, we do these two. And in the 3-minute, we have this gap. We have, again this bigger 5-minute gap. We have another 2-minute gap, which is almost the same as this inversion fair value gap. And in the 1-minute, what's going on again here? We're still seeing this smaller gap find support. We're in this bigger gap that is expected to find support, and preferably its midpoint not being touched to indicate more bullishness. I gotta work out. I gotta do some push-ups. All right. Price moving lower. That 1 minute couldn't hold it that much. Maybe it still does. Maybe, maybe this price right now, it jumps higher and leaves a big wick. Bodies are respecting it. Even the wick. See, one wick reacted to the 1 minute to the dot. I want to see this midpoint right here of this inversion. Preferably not get tapped. Preferably, but I can still allow it. Because there is still this bigger order block that might find orders being supported. And price wants to reprice there. It's permissible. But if I was still in trade, I would definitely put the stop loss here below this inversion over here. And below, maybe even below this fair value gap or below its midpoint. It's a small difference, so why not? It wouldn't make a huge change or a huge difference. So right now we're in the 5-minute fair value gap, this bigger one right here, and in this 1 minute fair value gap, inversion fair value gap, sorry. We're going for its midpoint. We're at midpoint. Also 1 minute fair value gap here. Didn't touch its midpoint. Found strong support. Will it close above this open? We'll wait and see. Patience is the key. Put some jazz music on, all right? Happy Monday, happy January morning jazz. Let's go. We're supporting our friends who left the contract open for this high to make 20K in a beautiful Wednesday PM session in January, making up the holiday presents money we spent that left huge holes in our pockets. So a quick 20K wouldn't be a bad idea, would it? Wouldn't it? Would it? Would it? Excuse me. For our friends. For us, we did our 12K. We're already covered. So price disrespected this inversion, is in 5-minute fair value gap, is in 5-minute order block. Where is this? This is 5-minute order block, 5-minute fair value gap. Again, stop loss would be below it if we were still in trade. Inversion fair value gap over here. So I want to delete this now that it's disrespected. This is also being disrespected, and this over here. So we have this being first a fair value gap, respects it, moves lower, disrespects it higher, turns into inversion. And it did find here support, and it's hopefully finding some here. And again, for me to feel safe over here, I want to see price again come below, above this opening price. Its body are staying in the 5-minute fair value gap. Strong support. 5-minute has 1.5 minutes to close, and it is closing pretty bullish. Strong price action, strong support. We're waiting for this. So this inversion, yeah, or this fair value gap is inversion right now. So we can expect some resistance. Preferably, again, we don't want a resistance here. We want to see, bam, through it. And it really does go through it, but in the 15-second, it has to form some sort of price action. And it's natural for it to find resistance here. In this area only, though. Rebalances here, inversion, 15-second, fair value gap, 15-second, moves higher. Disrespecting this inversion, very nice. Going for this candle open, disrespects it, super nice. We have fair value gap and inversion fair value gap. Yeah. I want to see some form of reaction here, preferably small one, or through it with force. All right, we're at it right now. Through it with force. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Going for buy side liquidity and going for inversion. Was this a 5-minute inversion? Yes, 5-minute inversion. So it's 14:35 right now. We found support in this fair value gap, first 5-minute fair value gap of the 2 to 3 p.m. silver bullet. We're going for rebalance of this order block and or possible rebalance of this wick to the wick, algorithmic. Very nice. This fair value gap now is an inversion fair value gap. So we have fair value gap first, gets filled, respected, moves a bit lower, higher, disrespected, and now is from a bearish fair value gap, now it turns into a bullish inversion fair value gap, which offers support together with the order block. So at this moment right here, I've moved my stop loss above here. From below this point, I move it here. And we'll wait and see. Higher time frame supporting higher prices. At the same time, this position right here is supported by the New York opening range inversion fair value gap here, which we'll keep an eye on constantly throughout the sessions, or tomorrow too, because these gaps will offer resistance or it will offer reaction in the future as well, as this one did on the previous Friday. All right. It's normal for price to come to this fair gap. I wouldn't prefer it, but it's permissible. And it doesn't seem like it wants to. I believe it wants to just continue higher. No 15-minute fair value gap formed. 15-minute candle rebalanced and moved higher, forming an immediate rebalance, which is a strong indication of bullishness. All right, so we're going for this fair value gap. I want to see its midpoint get respected, and it is getting respected. Reaction from it. There is also a 1 minute fair value gap that offers strong inversion fair value gap that offers strong support. It's also a bullish order block. This candle that we were hoping it's high to get broken, it turns into a bullish order block now. So at this point right now, I just want to see price move higher. I just want to see it shoot up higher, as it is. Fucking, I don't want to see any more consolidation below it. I just want to see continuation of this strong movement. All right. Alright, I'm failing to see that strong movement high, but this level I want to see support. After all, we're still not at 3 p.m. yet. It's still 2:40, and you know, it's still 20 minutes time for price to just move around. And but it's important for entry to be between 2 and 3, and target can be reached even after 3, but entry is before 3. So we can expect price to go back to this 5 minute again, preferably not again, but we can allow, and it's permissible by the rules of price algorithmic movement, you know. Anyway, this is also a benefit of taking low-hanging fruit consistently. You still make money in the long run, but in the short run, you don't hold the trade that long, and you are not stressed that long or anxious, and the risk is obviously smaller because you've closed the trade early on with profit. And right now, even though we are in profit and we're still in the same level approximately of the previous exit, we're still in open risk. We're still in open, even though we took some profit, we only left some contracts open, we're still in open risk. And we move the stop higher with profit, so risk is obviously low, but it's still there. And it's mental restraint that we're using, and it's emotional restraint and capacity that we are consuming. So price is finding some consolidation in the 1 minute. It's alright. You know, it's not the end of the world. Very important right now. I don't want to hype myself up. Yes, I just made $12,000, but I don't want to feel like. And yes, we did a very good analysis. Almost everything we were anticipating and talking about and assuming that would be happening happened. And that is naturally gonna make us feel like we know everything and we can repeat this every day all the time. We don't want to get into that state. We want to stay humble, we want to stay balanced, we want to stay grateful. And yes, we are good at it, but we also need to stay rebalanced and emotionally sane, because like right now price can just fucking go lower right now instantly, bam, and shatter your ego in the moment. So we don't want to build those emotions. We want to stay regular, grateful. It's very good. We made some money. Probability was on our side today. It might not be tomorrow or later if we take a trade. We're very, very happy. Very happy. Yeah. So it's very important to stay chill. Don't go overspending now just because you make some money. Just relax. You know, it's not money to spend. It's money to risk in the future for next trade. Or you can spend some of it. You know, you can buy a coffee or you go relax, listen to some jazz. You know. Alright, so we are in this 5-minute fair value gap, finding support in this 1-minute order block. Stop loss, you can place it below here if you want to be aggressive. If you want to leave room below this 5-minute fair value gap. But in the 5-minute, it doesn't really look good because we have a high, low, higher high, take buy side, move lower with bodies closing lower. So any fair inversion fair value gap like this here that forms, I want to see it get disrespected. To support higher prices. To the dot, fuck. Alright, very nice open. I just want to see it move, bam, close higher right now. 40 seconds left. If it fails to do so and it closes below, just close the trade. Take profit and be content. Alright, very nice. 10 seconds left to close. It's closing bullish. Very nice as expected. Disrespecting this inversion beautifully. Can still find resistance here and move lower. Again, if it moves below this low, close trade instantly. Because that would indicate if it disrespects this low, it's going for these lows, sell side. And if these sell side don't support price, this should, and if this doesn't, it goes too close against our stop and we're losing this portion for profit, which is a 0.22, but it's decent. It's not that much or the biggest portion, but it's decent. clear the lipstick. Put a beautiful chart. Very nice movement. We still are in a bullish price action with a high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We want to see higher highs now again with strong movement up, which is supporting bullishness and is a very good sign. Closing above this open. Very nice. It closed above this opened. Very bullish. Target again being this high, but I would advocate for this over here because it's inside the New York opening range AM and it's the beginning of rejection block. And while this target might get reached, it might do so in 2 hours, in 3 hours, and you're gonna be on the charts for that long still. While this one, you will be reached faster and it will offer you freer time later on, and still close to 20k, maybe not 20, maybe let's say 16, 17, but relatively compared to the extra 4 or 3k you would be making, it's not worth the risk and the mental restraint. A 1 minute inversion formed actually, not forming but formed. I want to see support. Price is consolidating in the upper range, which is a bullish sign. In this upper range of this consolidation, it's in the upper portion of it, which is very good. It's spending the most time, in the majority of the time, in that level. Inversion getting filled and finding support to the fucking dot. Algorithmic as hell. Again, 5 minute offering support still to a dot. Confluenting, overlapping gaps, strong support. Now I want to see price, bam, shoot up higher. Built-in buy-side engineered liquidity. Very smooth, ready to get liquidated, all of these. Again, maintain balance, humbleness. Don't be the know it all, understand it all, can predict it all. Because yes, it's unfolding as we're saying so, but it is doing it so right now. It's just happening to be on the right probability as we are. So relax. Just enjoy it, but don't let it make you sugar high or put you in that illusion of I've cracked the code and I can do this every day, every hour. Well, theoretically you can, but don't let it get you high, don't get high. Just enjoy it peacefully, balance it. Enjoy the happy January morning jazz. Cafe music for relax. As we are relaxing, stacking up the Benjaminis. Yeah. Now we peacefully watch price reach our target, with our target again being here. Those who would have more time in their day would allow for more risk and more profits can target this high. I prefer this one right here. If I was still in a trade. It's a 5-minute and a 15-minute rejection block level. It's 14:53 time of the day. No other gaps forming between 2 or 3. This was the only one that got reacted from. We can expect price again to fall like it did here, but it's very highly unlikely as 3 p.m. comes closer. And I also need to go pick up some milk. Fucking, I gotta get going actually. Got some milk, some cheese, some yogurt, some eggs coming delivered to Chambers Street. I gotta go to Chambers Street. Price coming to this Fair Valley gap, respecting it. Alright, I gotta get ready while price goes to a target. So there's only what left? 25 pip difference. It's not bad. Alright, gotta get ready. See? Strong respect. Strong. If it reaches that before 3 p.m., that would be amazing. But again, it can reach until 4, 5, and so on. And if you let it beyond 5:30, it will probably, or it can, again, probably the mindset, it can drag until 7 through New Day opening gap to Asia and possibly even London. Who knows? You never know. It's a probability mindset. Some eggs, some milk, some cheese, some bone broth, What else I bought? Some nice stuff. Yogurt, blueberry honey. Oh my god, I can't wait for that blueberry honey. Goat milk. Juicy. All right, I gotta go now. Again, price is finding support in this 5-minute fair value gap. It's a matter of time. It moves higher. It's clearly bullish, building a lot of buy side. We took profits. We were aiming for more for those who left the contracts open, but I gotta go. All right, it was nice. We'll catch up again. Enjoy the money. Enjoy your time with your family, loved ones, free time. Relax. Have a good one. See you. Bye bye. Ciao.